Hi, I'm Dr. Craig Malkin. I'm a clinical psychologist and lecturer for Harvard Medical School. I'm also the author of Rethinking Narcissism, devoted to helping you understand and cope with narcissism in all its forms. And I am a contributing author for the brand new New York Times bestseller, The Dangerous Case of Donald Trump. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I wanted to talk about covert narcissism. And in particular, what's the most dangerous thing about covert narcissism? Well, what's most dangerous about covert narcissism is that most people completely misunderstand what it is. There's a great deal of misinformation out there on the internet. There's many articles devoted to the gazillion signs of what covert narcissism is, and they all sort of boil down to look out. These people are extremely manipulative. This is the most manipulative kind of narcissist that you can find. Here's the problem. Covert narcissism, I don't even like the term, and I'm not alone in that as an expert on narcissism, or researchers on narcissism are like-minded and join with me in the same perspective. I don't like the term covert narcissism because it implies a kind of sneakiness or manipulativeness that is behind the scenes or is harder to spot. That is not what covert narcissism is. There is no empirical evidence whatsoever. There is no research evidence that is whatsoever, nor is there any evidence from clinical experience that is helping people in the room who have narcissistic personality disorder and tend to be more actually introverted. I'm going to get to that in a moment. There's no evidence that they're more manipulative than, say, somebody who is a more outgoing, bragging, extroverted narcissist, also sometimes called overt or obvious or grandiose narcissist. I don't like any of those terms. And I especially don't like covert narcissism because here is the danger. The reality is that the covert part of it, the reason that term was developed in the first place, is that covert simply means that the grandiosity, that is that addictive need to feel special in some way, even if it's private, like feeling like I'm more important because my pain is more important than others. That's not unusual for people who have a more introverted or quiet or shy version of narcissistic personality disorder. So it doesn't mean that they are better at hiding what they're doing. That's not what it means at all. So you can forget the listicles that give you all kinds of signs of what's so special about covert narcissists. In fact, the core of all pathological narcissism, I mean, this is really what I want to help drive home. This is point number one. People with pathological narcissism, people with narcissistic personality disorder, when it becomes severe, they're manipulative. It's built into the definition. Also, abusers are manipulative, and they tend to actually work hard to hide their abusiveness, really, so that they can keep it up. So the greatest danger here is getting distracted and focusing on some kind of red herring. The core of pathological narcissism in the research is something called exploitation entitlement, EE. That is acting as if the world owes people and owes them, and they should bow to their will. That's the entitlement piece. And exploitation, doing whatever it takes, including lie, steal, cheat, hurt others in order to feel special in some way. That is manipulativeness. And across all of the studies over and over again, what the quieter, shyer, introverted, this is the language I use in Rethinking Narcissism, introverted narcissists and extroverted narcissists have in common is that core of manipulativeness. So extroverted narcissists are no more or less manipulative than introverted narcissists, or vice versa. That is not what covert narcissism is about. Again, it just means they might have more internal fantasies of grandiosity. That's where the term came from. There's no evidence to suggest any other aspect of the problem. So instead of getting too focused on whether or not somebody has these X number of kind of fabricated signs of covert narcissism that it kind of makes a good story, what you want to be paying attention to is that what I call triple E, exploitation, entitlement, and empathy impairment. And bear in mind that even the most outgoing, extroverted, charismatic person who has narcissistic personality disorder can lapse into that more covert form where it's more introverted. They go back and forth. That's what the research shows. So if what you should be keeping your eye on are signs of abuse, signs that this person is trying to control or have some kind of power over you. And just because they're doing out in the open doesn't mean they might not switch to doing it in a more hidden fashion. Because even though not all abusers are people who have narcissistic personality disorder, a great many are, but abuse is fueled by many, many things. So it's that manipulativeness that you have to look for. And the greatest danger is that you wind up looking for signs that actually have nothing to do with what can become a problem. The real signs you should be looking for, and I go over this in Rethinking Narcissism, I go over this in a number of videos, are the problems that have to do with not being able to be open to others in a mutual caring and close fashion. That's where the empathy piece comes in. Being able to share when they're sad or scared or lonely and actually get close to people. There are any number of indicators, including what I call emotion phobia. That's just one, where these are people who sort of pull back or shy away from any conversation about real emotion. And a lot of people do that when they have had experiences that make them fear being open emotionally in that way. But the particular spin is that people who are extremely narcissistic replace that ability to be open about what they're feeling inside with a kind of self-importance or superiority, either subtle or obvious. And so that is, they might tell themselves, well, I'm smarter than you, and treat you in a way where you feel inferior. Or they might simply prop themselves up with their sense of importance by privately, and this is the covert part, feeling like their pain is what matters more than anybody, their emotional pain. So you need to listen really closely to what I'm feeling, and I don't even know how you could compare our emotional pain. Mine is so much bigger than you. Obviously, that has nothing to do with feeling proud of yourself. So this is the problem. The greatest danger, and I want to repeat it, of getting too focused on all of these signs that really aren't supported by research and really aren't supported by what we see in the room helping people, is that you can get distracted by red herrings that don't show you the true sign of danger. And you can think you're in the clear because you see somebody who's more outgoing and charismatic and think, aha, this isn't that type who's going to be really hidden about how they mistreat me. And that's just not true. So I hope this has been helpful. Again, my name is Dr. Craig Malkin. I'm the author of Rethinking Narcissism and contributing author to the New York Times bestseller, The Dangerous Case of Donald Trump. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I should have said that at the start. And it's great to be able to be doing videos again. I have been pulled into the rabbit hole over the last few months of having major repairs done in the house, but I'm all up and running now. So I look forward to joining you for the next video. Thanks.